2017 season has arrived and 2016 is now in the past. Pre-season gets underway in Catalonia for the brand new generation of Formula 1 cars for this 2017 season, which are going to be arguably the fastest cars we have ever seen in the sport. And with that, there comes some change and also some constructors and driver changes, which we're going to address in a couple of moments' time. But overall, a very exciting season awaits us, and I cannot wait to get into it and show you guys exactly what we have going for ourselves this year. As you can see, we have all the new looking animations and also drivers and also teams. We'll run through them all one by one, but overall, going into the season, for season 2 of the Mick Schumacher Career Mode, it's going to be very exciting to see how things progress. A lot of changes over the winter, a lot of news, big changes, last minute decisions, and you guys are going to see exactly what happened over a pretty hectic winter and how we've come to this point in pre-season at the start of the 2017 season. Also worth mentioning, at the end of season 1 we was driving for Manor. Manor have now officially folded as a team. They are no longer in the sport. So what does that mean for Mick Schumacher and Pascal Wehrlein? That's going to be quite interesting indeed. So let's see what happens, and let's see exactly how the 2017 grid lines up for the entire season, a 17 race season of the Mick Schumacher Career Mode. Kicking things off with Mercedes-AMG Petronas, a defending champion constructor, and they retain their main man Lewis Hamilton as their lead driver. The shock of the winter though, Nico Rosberg retiring after the 2016 season, leaving a seat open at the Silver Arrows. Valtteri Bottas the man to replace him, and overall it's going to be an exciting season for them. A new lineup, new competition, a fresh face, and overall exciting times. Will Mercedes still be the dominant force, or will there be competition? Ferrari return, and in a more dramatic fashion, a brand new livery, absolutely striking, retaining their current driver lineup of Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Räikkönen. Rumours in the paddock car, they are neck and neck with Mercedes this season when it comes to engine power and overall car performance. The question is, will that come true on the racetrack? We'll have to wait and see, but it's going to be very intriguing to see if these two super heavyweights can actually go neck and neck in this entire season. Sebastian Vettel is still the main driver, Kimi Räikkönen being the experienced veteran and most likely going to be a sort of backup number 2 driver for the German. But overall, Ferrari have a very strong lineup, and they are really trying to target the Constructors' Championship this year alongside the drivers. So hopefully a double sweep for them is what they're looking for in this 2017 season. We move on to Red Bull Racing, and big change here from the team from Milton Keynes, as Daniel Ricciardo has left the team after 2016, being replaced by the young upstart Pierre Gasly, who will join Max Verstappen in Red Bull to form a very, very young driver lineup, and a very, very exciting one at that. Red Bull feeling confident about their car, knowing they have the best chassis on the grid. Rumours are Red Bull have worked with Renault and Tag Heuer to really get some more engine power in the car this year, and according to reports, they are just shy of Mercedes and Ferrari, but the gap has been incredibly close over pre-season, and it promises to be very, very exciting, and we'll have to wait and see exactly where the pecking order is. But Red Bull are definitely an outside contender this year. Renault came back to Formula 1 in 2016, and this year they've gone even bigger and better with their 2017 car, signing Nico Hülkenberg to a big deal for the Works team, and also Carlos Sainz being on loan from Red Bull. A very interesting lineup here from Renault, really trying to push forward and progress on their 2016 season. Admittedly, a disappointing return to Formula 1 for them, and hopefully they can bounce back with their new, very powerful and exciting driver lineup, and they're hoping to score big points from the get-go and try and make themselves a force to be reckoned with in the sport once again. Haas unveiled their new car in a very, very striking livery. They debuted in Formula 1 last season in 2016, and they are back with their second ever Formula 1 car, and it's an absolute masterpiece. Rumours in the paddock do suggest that they might be actually getting some intel / information from Ferrari and also some potential car parts, but the performance on track has been very strong from the American-based outfit, and their car and the way it visually looks is very striking and very unique, representing their country in all its glory. But overall, Haas looking very exciting. A brand new driver lineup of Romain Grosjean being retained alongside the returning Kevin Magnussen, so a very strong lineup there for the American team, and they are promising to do big things this season in 2017. And here's the big news, Daniel Ricciardo for McLaren being the main man McLaren really cashing out for the Australian, spending the big bucks to bring him in as the #1 man at the Woking-based team, alongside the returning Stoffel Van Dorn, to create a very, very exciting driver lineup this year. McLaren have officially ditched Honda as a power unit supplier, and they are now with Renault Power. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how they progress this season. Will they be right back at the front, or is it going to have to be a rebuilding job? And is Daniel Ricciardo capable of being the team leader and building a team around him, which is something that he's really wanted for a long time? Overall, McLaren are excited for this season. Fresh change, fresh faces, and a brand new engine, and they're hoping to really try and get out the dark days with the Honda power unit. Williams up next, and a very, very interesting change here as Lance Stroll leads the lineup with Pascal Wehrlein alongside him. Lance Stroll retained from 2016, Felipe Massa actually retiring at the end of the season, and Pascal Wehrlein comes in, which is very interesting. The rumours in the paddock were that he was going to join Force India. However, last minute Mercedes decided to actually pencil him in for a deal at Williams to make him a second driver, and also give Williams a nice competitive driver alongside Stroll to try and push him to the limit, and hopefully Williams can try and progress and score continuous points as they really try and get themselves back up the field. Next we move on to Sauber, and very exciting things here as Charles Leclerc and Mick Schumacher will be driving the brand new car. Sauber have teamed up with Alfa Romeo and Ferrari to really try and create a bit of a B team, and also try and get Sauber out of a couple of their dark years and try and restore them back to some decent midfield to high midfield pace, and really restore them as a solid midfield runner. Overall, the big news though in this one over the winter was that Mick Schumacher alongside Pascal Wehrlein, who was previously mentioned, were scheduled to sign for Force India. The big news over the winter was that Force India actually got shut down as a constructor because they actually financially could not run the team anymore. So Mick alongside Pascal had to find a bit of a plan B, and this is where Ferrari came in, and they decided to sign Mick Schumacher to the young driver program and put him straight into the Sauber team, whereas Mercedes acted fast to maintain and retain Pascal Wehrlein and leave him in the Williams team. Also though, we have to mention Charles Leclerc, a very exciting prospect with lots and lots of pace, and a big talk of him in the paddock about big things he could potentially do in the world of Formula 1. So overall, you could argue Sauber have one of the most exciting ever driver lineups for a midfield to lower end team. Of course, after the demise of Force India, somebody had to come in and replace them. Little did we know it was going to be a manufacturer and a massive name in motorsport racing. Porsche make their return to Formula 1 in dramatic fashion. They bought out Force India, what they had left of the team, and decided to bring in their own staff from the Le Mans category and really create a dynasty in Formula 1. They signed up two of the best drivers going on the grid right now, with Fernando Alonso, the veteran, the man that came from McLaren, actually leaving the team as Daniel Ricciardo came in as a replacement. And they also signed the young rookie upstart of Esteban Ocon, who also has great promise and great pace from the younger category. So overall, you could argue Porsche are looking very good, and according to their pace in pre-season based off of the lap times, they're looking like genuine dark horses, and they could easily be right up there with the three big boys. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this team gets on as the season progresses. And up next, another interesting story over the winter as Toro Rosso were actually cut as a B team from Red Bull, and that basically left the door open for Jaguar to buy out Toro Rosso and bring back their manufacturer team. And essentially it's come full circle after 13 years when Jaguar were actually bought out by the Red Bull family way back in the day. We now have Jaguar back in the sport as a manufacturer, and their team is being led by the veteran Sergio Perez, who was signed from Force India because obviously they went under. So a big coup for those guys, signing him as a lead driver and retaining and managing to sign on Daniel Kvyat, who was the remaining Toro Rosso driver, and he can now stay in the team as a number 2 driver. And overall, Jaguar have a very strong lineup to make their return into Formula 1, and they're looking to basically have a very good return season, not aiming for any particular goals, just to try and see if they can be consistent point runners. And overall, a very exciting year for Jaguar, and overall a lot of exciting names back in the sport here. And that is your lot for the 2017 pre-season test here for the start of the Mick Schumacher Career Mode here at the Catalonia circuit. Very exciting, lots of new faces, lots of new teams, and I cannot wait to get racing down under in Melbourne, Australia. Like I mentioned, a 17 race season, and it's going to be interesting to see how this goes, and hopefully, you never know, the progression and also the change in team performances hopefully will add a little something else to the series, and fingers crossed it'll be very up and down, topsy-turvy, and lots of different winners, and hopefully there's no real dominance. You never know, Mercedes though could turn up and absolutely demolish a field in Australia, so it's going to be interesting to see. And like I said, you know, from top to bottom, in my opinion, a very competitive and complete grid, and also team-wise, very nicely balanced. A lot of good teams in there, and overall, no real weaknesses. So it's going to be a very strong grid, and I'm very much looking forward to getting racing down under in Melbourne, Australia. But if you guys are excited also for this series, then do drop a like on the video, guys, and let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on the series and what you think the season is going to be like. And also, if you're new around here, then do check out season 1, which I did ages ago. I'll leave a link down below in the description. Admittedly, not my finest piece of work because it has some problems, but still, it gives you context reference for exactly how we got to this point in this season 2 series. But anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn on notifications to not miss any uploads from me, as there will be daily Formula 1 and MotoGP uploads coming every single day. And also, finally, check out these 2 videos on screen if you have missed. And other than that, guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully it's a good season, and I'll see you in the next video very soon. Goodbye.